Hola.
My name is Pedro Oliveira. I come originally from Brazil, but I've been living and working in Germany for some 8 years. I work mostly with design, but my work has always gravitated around sound and listening.
My name is Caroline Wolewinski. I'm half Polish, half French, living in Brussels since 8 years. I'm a graphic designer, and here during this residency I wanted to focus more into 3D objects.
The piece that I developed here in Namur is a performance, is a composition made for a turntable and three voices, a trio of voices, which I'm specifically naming it a trio of immigrant voices. I did some collage of historical speeches by anti-colonial, anti-borders activists and thinkers, all of them speaking with accents that are from one of the 5 colonial languages, so English, Portuguese, German, French, and Spanish. But all of them with known European accents, so all of them coming from original colonized countries.
I worked on this idea of how a gesture could somehow give a trigger of the function of the object. There's a term used by Baudrillard which is cupping. And cupping is the action of basically grabbing a cup and the grip, having a grip on something. So these objects are more like a combination of all those moves that we're doing and trying to question the spectator. And I might activate them at some point and ask to perform these objects and ask people what do they think they're used for or made for.
To imagine speculation with a decolonial perspective is to imagine not what futures could be, but what futures could become. So you imagine an entire world differently. It requires us to move away from a lot of assumptions about the world as it is. And sound for me is one way of doing it, because I think sound as a material, the very materiality of how sound is transmitted and produced into the world is starting point to do that, because the way we listen to the world kind of informs our perspective around it. So sound for me is maybe a more raw way of encountering the world.
Here the idea is to emphasize these moves that are taken for granted and that we know but we're not aware of anymore, and maybe find out a solution of what is going to be the tomorrow object.
So what I want the audience to take from this is a moment for rethinking how we perform biometry in our everyday lives. So how we look at others and make judgments about otherness and about the others, not only when we encounter machines, but also how we do that in everyday lives. So the performance is meant to be a moment in which we decolonize our way to see otherness in the world.